Welcome to the UC Extension Service Farming 101 workshop. We're here to talk a little bit about emergency and disaster preparedness for backyard farmers and commercial operations. First, a lot of people use the terms emergency and disaster interchangeably, but they're actually two really different kinds of incidents. And it's important to know the difference and understand how to handle an emergency, how to handle a disaster, and who is going to come and help you in both of those situations. So an emergency happens to you. It's a small, isolated event. It could involve just you and one or a few of your animals. Maybe it's confined to your ranch. Could be something like a trailer accident, a livestock transportation mishap, a barn fire, or you have some animals stuck in an old abandoned well. All those are examples of individual emergencies. In an emergency, you're going to know what to do and you're going to know who to call and you're going to be able to get help pretty quickly most of the time. In a disaster, big area, lots of people, lots of animals, and the most important and critical thing to remember about disasters is that you may be on your own for a long time. Could be hours, could be days, could be weeks. That means that you need to be prepared for everything that you might need to handle on your farm, on your ranch, in your barn, and be prepared to take care of yourself because help may not get to you. So, what does that mean? We're going to talk about the bullet points that you really need to keep in mind. First and foremost, stay calm, have a plan. Disaster readiness means you got plan A, you have plan B, and you have plan C, because one or more of your plans may not be workable. So you need to think about what could go wrong. You might have an evacuation route, but it might be blocked. You might have a vehicle hooked up and ready to go, but a power pole or a tree could come down on it. You may not have anybody available to help you. Your workers may not be able to get to you. You need to be able to take care of everything that you do on your farm or ranch. Keep things running, take care of yourself and your family, keep your animals healthy, and do your best to take care of waste, products that might be produced by your operation, and prevent them from getting into the environment. So right now we're looking at a defensible space on this ranch. That means that we've got a large area where nothing can burn, nothing can flood, no big trees can come down on anything of importance, and very importantly, because this is a livestock operation, we have safe spaces for the animals. We have dry lot pastures with metal fencing that's not going to burn. We have lots and lots of water sources. We have big tanks that we can top off if we have to. And these animals can move from place to place and move away from dangers caused by a wind event, by grass fire, and they've got lots of high ground in case we are in a flood situation. We also have the arena. It's a big metal arena, so the fencing isn't going to burn, the building's not going to burn. Again, it's on high ground, it's sand, so it's got good drainage, so it's safe in a fire, it's safe in wind, and it's safe in flooding. We want to get all our animals into safe places if we have time to prepare. Here in California, we are prone to incidents that don't give us a whole lot of time to get ready. So that means that you've got to be prepared for what we call a zero advance warning incident. And that means know how to shelter in place safely. Right here, we've got a bunch of goats. We are ready to evacuate them in a voluntary evacuation situation because we've gotten them all cornered into a pen. Our trailer is staged, ready to go. We have a cat here ready to help the goats. And you notice that that trailer is backed up so that it's in the highest possible place, meaning nobody has to jump into that trailer. We're going to be able to load horses, cattle, get those goats in there, carry them if we have to. And everybody is already contained in a little pen. So, what are the rules to think of when you're protecting livestock on a ranch? A, get them out of harm's way. if you have the opportunity. That means you don't wait to evacuate. Once it's a red flag day, once there is an evacuation warning, you want to get everybody and all your equipment ready to go. It's really important when you're preparing to make sure that everything you need is in a safe place and that you can get to it quickly. So on a ranch or a farm or even your backyard livestock facility, you need to make sure that you have prepared a location where your vehicles and your tools and your important life-saving and system-saving equipment are where you can get to them no matter what and where they are safe. So we're in our safe space right now. All of our equipment is staged here. This is a big gravel area. It's big enough for emergency vehicles to get in and swing around. It's big enough for us to get any of our rigs, trucks, trailers, generators, mobile water tanks, whatever we need to get to and get out of here, we can back up, hook it up, roll it out. So make sure that your equipment is not parked under a big tree. Make sure that it's in a place where fire can't run over it, and make sure that it's on high ground if you're in a location that's prone to flooding. So do your safety check, make sure that your vehicles are gassed up, your hitches are in good shape, everything is ready to go. It'll make the difference between life and death and keeping your farming operation viable while the disaster is ongoing, and you'll recover much more quickly afterward. One of the most important things to remember if you're preparing for any kind of emergency or disaster is to have your Plan B equipment ready to go. It's got to be staged and ready and where you can get to it and where it is not going to be in any kind of danger. So that means protecting your power source, your water supply, and your waste management systems, your food storage systems, everything you need for you, your family, and your workers to stay safe if you are sheltered in place, and everything you need to make sure that your systems are going to be maintained in your absence if you're not on your property. So right here we have our ranch pickup. It's hooked up, ready to go with our mobile water tank. This is a tank that can be taken to any location on the ranch. We can hook fire hoses up to it. It can be a resource for the fire service. So that is probably our most important piece of equipment. Number two is this. It's a second generator. It's a mobile generator. On this particular ranch, we actually have 3 mobiles and 1 stationary. This is a big generator. We can get it to our pump. We can get it down to the barn. You could get it to your creamery, but having power available and having water available are going to be the difference between surviving in style and possibly not surviving at all. You've probably figured out by now that the most important part of being prepared is having what you need, where you need it, when you need to get it. So on a ranch, that means having your tools, having a cache of supplies, equipment, first aid, water, food, for everybody, all of the people and all of the animals. And usually it means you've got to have all that stuff in more than one place because you might not be able to get to the cache in your basement. You might not be able to get to the equipment in your barn. Here, we're standing in front of the safety shed on this ranch. So this is a steel shed. It's easy to get to. It's in a space that is pretty safe. We're not going to have a big tree coming down on it. It hopefully is pretty safe from fire, and it definitely doesn't flood. So inside this shed, we have everything we need when we need it. We have rescue equipment for ourselves and animals. We have tools that the fire service can access, ladders, fuel, all kinds of hand tools, chainsaws, extra blades. And we have flashlights, work lights, small portable generators, crates filled with things like phone chargers, hand tools, first aid supplies. What else do we have in here? Got LED lights. We've got tarps and lots of trash bags because you can use them for all kinds of things. We've got farrier tools because on this ranch we have horses. These crates are filled with household supplies. So we've got blankets, pillows, first aid, dehydrated food, pretty much everything we would need to get by for at least 4 or 5 days. So in general, have everything that you need where you know you can get to it. That also means everything for your animals. So if you come on over around the corner, I have everything set up right here ahead of time that I'm going to need for the working dogs, for the barn cats, and for the house pets. I also have extra grab and go kits for the people. Why? Because I might not be able to get back to the house. I've also got a big duffel filled with warm clothes staged in front of my vehicle, ready to take off. We've got cat food, cat litter, dog food, dog bedding, crates and carriers, first aid kits for people, first aid kits for cats, first aid kits for dogs, and first aid kits for the livestock. We have horse supplies. We have an ice chest filled with ice and water. We've got a couple of jugs of water. You need all this stuff, and you need it when you need it. So make sure that it's where you can get to it quickly. Make sure it's in a place that's safe, and make sure that you're checking your equipment periodically. Switch out your batteries, switch out your flashlights, check everything at least every 4 or 5 months. Set that on your phone. And by the way, it's a really good idea to make sure that you've got duffels, backpacks, so that they leave your hands free. And I really like to have a fanny pack. And the fanny pack's got my communication devices, an extra phone charger. It's gonna have my goggles or my sunglasses, eye drops, lip balm, anything else that's really, really important to me, important ID documents, maybe extra house keys and car keys, whatever you absolutely gotta have. Make sure it's on you and make sure that your hands are free to do the things that you have to do.